welcome to my live class. Dear student, today I am going to take a class on chapter 16 from your 910 Bangladesh and Global Studies book. Okay, and I have already taken a class. This is my second class on chapter 16, and you know all the name of the chapter is Some of the Social Problems of Bangladesh and Their Remedies. So dear student, before the start of my class, let's have a look on the screen about our today's learning outcome. So after the class, you will be able to define of violence towards women. Then you will be able to describe the causes of violence towards women. Number 3, you will be able to describe the impacts of violence towards women. Then you will be able to describe the results of the violence towards women. Next thing is that describe the steps to prevent violence towards women. And number 6, describe the legal steps to prevent violence towards women. So boys, let's get started about today's class. First of all, I would like to talk. But before the start to describe about violence towards women, I would like to talk about something about what is called violence. Basically, violence means intentionally result injuries, death, and psychological harm. Okay. Again, I am going to tell you the meaning of violence. Violence means intentionally psychological and physical and mental pressure or tortures to a person or a group or community that may result death, injuries, and psychological harm. So this is the meaning of violence. Now I am going to talk about the violence towards women. Okay. So violence toward women means okay boys, violence towards means if any girl or a woman is tortured physically or mentally by any person, by a male or by a woman, only for being the girl or woman of any age is called the violence towards women. Okay. Again, I am going to describe the definition in front of you, and this definition is highly important for your examination. What is called the violence towards women? Violence towards means if any girl or woman is tortured physically or mentally by any man or woman for being only woman of any is called the violence towards women. Okay. Say for example, if a girl is tortured because she is a girl, this will be called the violence towards women. Okay. So I want to go the next topic that so this is here you can see the definitions of violence towards women, and I have taken these definitions from a textbook, and you can give the answer following these lines. Okay. Now I am going to talk about the domestic violence, and domestic violence is important for question A, that means the knowledgeable question. So what is called the domestic violence? Domestic violence means if a girl or if a woman is tortured at her home by any person, by any members of the family, is called the domestic violence. Again, I am going to tell you the definitions of domestic violence. If any girl or woman is tortured physically or mentally by any person of her home, is called the domestic violence. Now I am going to show you the definitions of domestic violence. That means when a woman becomes the victim of torture, either physical or mental, inside her home, is called the domestic violence. Fatim Nihal Jubair. Alaikum Assalam. Thank you very much for watching me. And I want to share one thing with you today. We have to cover some of the topics regarding violence towards women. So the length of our today's class will be long. Okay, so you have to give much patience in my today's class. Okay. Now I am going to talk about the nature of violence of women. Okay. So now I am going to talk about the nature of violence to women in our country. First of all, the sexual harassment. Okay. So sexual harassment is a common scenario of our country. In our country, basically sexual harassment and eve teasing are counted as the same meaning. So here, eve teasing is very important for your examinations. Okay, so what is called the eve teasing? Eve teasing means disturbing a woman disturbing a woman by a man in crowded place or public place. Okay, so if teasing means disturbing a girl or woman by a man in crowd place or public place. Okay, in our country, it can be happened. It can be happened with a girl or woman at her working place or at her home streets. Okay, so our present government is trying to stop, is trying to protect social harassments from our society. Okay, now I am going to the next point, the fatwa. Okay, I think you have heard the word, the title or term of fatwa. Basically, fatwa means the descriptions of Islamic Sharia law. Okay, sometimes the religious intellectuals use fatwa to torture women in the rural, basically in the rural areas. So fatwa is the way to torture of women in our country. Okay, so this is the one of the way or one of the nature of violence to women. Number three, the acid throwing. The acid throwing is one of the common scenarios of our countries of violence to women. And this incident, basically the acid throwing incidents have happened with girls or women. So there are some reasons of acid throwing cases. Say for example, refusal of indecent proposal, reject of love proposal, family dispute are some of the reasons of acid throwing. But our government have imposed some laws to prevent acid throwing. Okay, and our government is trying to protect acid throwing from the cases of the acid throwing from our society. Number four, the trafficking of children and women. So here I would like to, at first I would like to make understand you what is called trafficking, what is called human trafficking. Basically, human trafficking means sending a human being or sending peoples one country to another country illegally. Okay, so the trafficking of children and women is one of the nature of violence to women, and the women are sufferer due to the human trafficking. Okay, and the human trafficker human trafficker are very cruel to the women during the trafficking time. Okay, so that's all about the nature of violence to women. Now I am going to the next point of our today's class. Women, first of all, nothing for good, nothing for doing anything, and it treated women are inexpert to do various jobs. So this thinking, this outlook is one of the causes of violence to women in our society. Number two, various social negative outlooks in our society. There are some negative attitudes, some negative outlooks on our women or on our girls. Okay, and sometimes our religions or some of the religions do not support women about the women's rights. So this is one of the causes of violence to women in our society. Number three, child marriage. So what is child marriage? Marriage marriage under 18 for a girl is called the child marriage, okay, and marriage under 21 years according to the law, according to the running laws of our country for male is called the child marriage. So child marriage is one of the causes of violence to women, okay. And it will be very difficult for a girl under family works, and because she does not know how to behave with the with her husband in-laws house, okay. So this is the thing. Number 4, polygamy. Okay. So what is polygamy? Polygamy is a way where a man can take some wives. Okay. Say for example, you have some wives. So it will be very difficult to you to give much attention or to show your love equally all of to all of your wives. So polygamy is one of the causes of violence to women. Number 5, giving the birth of the female child. So I think there is no chance of human being to give birth male child. Okay, but giving the birth of female child, the birth of the female of the women of our country are tortured day by day by the family members. You can think that women are not strong enough to do job, okay, and they are physically weak. So this outlook, this thinking is one of the causes of violence to women. Number 7, lack of education. Due to the lack of proper education, the women of our country don't part changing day by day. Okay. Okay, basically dowry system means take money or other resources from bride to bridegroom, or bridegroom to bride, okay. It will be vice versa. So this is one of the causes of violence to women. Number 9, religious potwa, and I have talked about the religious potwa in the previous slide, so I will not talk about this thing now. There is a dominating and stubborn attitudes among the they are able to earn money, and they are all causes of violence to women. Number 11, negligence of parents. Sometimes the parents of our country, especially in our village areas, don't like their female childs, their daughters. Okay, and they are highly afraid for their growing up, for their marriage, for their security. So this is one of the causes. Number 12, poverty, and poverty is most vital cause of the violence to women, and the socio-economic condition of a country is not good enough. Okay, so due to the poverty, our parents, especially in the rural areas, they are afraid about the growing up of their daughters in society. So these are the causes of violence to women. Now, I am going to talk about the impact of violence towards women. Okay, so first of all, number 1, physical torture to women results the loss of bodily organ. Due to the violence towards women, a girl or a man can loss of her body, some part of the body or organ. So this is one of the impacts of violence towards women. Number 2, Violence towards women may the result of injuries to the physical and mental health of women, and this is very easy to understand. I think you have got this point. And number three, it may the cause of commit suicide. Okay, and due to the violence towards women, due to the severe level of torture, some of the women, some of the girls had to take the decisions to kill themselves. Okay. Number four, female cannot lead a normal life, and this is very common thing. If you torture anyone, you cannot lead a normal life. This is the thing. Number five, the violence towards women also impacts on the economy of our country. Okay, here I want to share one line of our national poet Kazi Nazrul Islam. এ বিশ্বে যা কিছু মহান চিরকল্যাণকর অর্ধেক তার গড়িয়াছে নারী অর্ধেক তার নর. So for the development, for the progress of our nation, of our civilizations, okay, we need the help, we need the share of our women in our society. Okay, but due to the violence towards the women, women cannot take part in jobs or economy activities. So it is one of the causes, it is one of the impacts, and due to this impact and this impacts in effects on our economy. So dear students, now I'm going to discuss about the preventive measures to stop violence towards women. Okay, first of all, enhancing women empowerment. So here at first you have to understand what is called the women empowerment. When women take part in financial activities, when women do various jobs, and they will be self-dependent, okay, and they will be able to take their own decisions, and this is called women empowerment. Okay, so to prevent violence towards women, we have to enhance women empowerment in our society. Number two, to give allowance to the widows. If the government should step enough steps to give adequate amount of allowance to the widows, definitely it will be help to prevent violence towards women. Number three, enacting and implementing laws. Okay, to prevent violence towards women, government should make very strict laws, and they should try to implement these laws to prevent violence towards women. Number four, providing education. Okay, so if government should provide quality education to our girls, to our women, okay, and they will be self-dependent, they will take part in financial activities, and this will help to prevent violence towards women. Number five, creating mass awareness. Here print media and electronic media can take further awareness about the bad sides, about the they can flourish themselves, they can make themselves as self-dependent. Number seven, giving exemplary punishment. Those who take part in violations towards women will have to face exemplary punishment, and this will be one of the measures by the government to prevent violence towards women. Number eight, giving social pressure. If the conscious people of a society, if the members of the civil society put pressure to government to prevent violence towards women, definitely government should take enough measures to stop violence towards women. Number 9, preventions of degradations of social values. In my first lecture, I have discussed about the social values, and degradations of social values is one of the causes of violence towards women. But we should try to love our social values. We should try to preserve. We should try to maintain our social values, and this will be one of the measures, one of the steps to prevent violence towards women. Number 10, stopping of bad culture. Basically, there is no what of bad culture if we use any elements of other countries if we use any elements of other societies in our societies, but these elements are not supported our society, is called a bad culture. So we have to stop bad culturing in our society. Okay, number 11, building respectful relationship between man and woman. Okay, okay. Personally, we should make very good relationship with men and women, and this will be helpful to prevent violence towards women. Number 12, exercising religious values and ideals. Okay, and running laws of a state can control your external behaviors, but they cannot control your internal behaviors. But your religious values, ideals can control your internal behaviors. So, exercising religious values and ideals can be one of the measures to prevent violence towards women. Number 13 and the last point is proper evaluations of the status and role of the woman. If we give the proper status according to our religion, according to the religion of of Islam, okay, it definitely it will help to prevent violence towards women. So we should try to give much respect to our mothers, to our sisters, to our friends. Okay. So guys, so this is the last part of our today's class, and in this part, and I am going to talk about the legal support to prevent violence towards women. So here you have to understand what is called the legal supports. Legal supports, that means the laws which are taken, which are imposed by the government to protect violence towards women. So first, basically in my class, I am going to show you three laws, three acts that are working to prevent violence towards women. First law is that. Okay. The name of this law is the Prevention of Oppression Towards Women and Children Act 2000. Okay, here I want to share on information regarding this law. This law is amended in 2003. Okay, crime. According to this law, crime is sexually or makes any indecent gesture and commits any sexual harassment to fulfill his sexual desire. So this is the crime according to this law. So what will be the punishments in regards of this law? Jail not exceeding 7 years and not less than 2 years with financial punishment. That means if you do like this crime, you have to get not exceeding 7 years jail and not less than 2 years jail with the financial punishment. This is all about the Prevention of Oppression Towards Women and Children Act 2000. Law second. Okay. The name of this act is the Laws for the Prevention of Trafficking of Women and Children Act 2000. Okay. According to this act, the crime is any type of human trafficking. Okay. Those who are involving in human trafficking, okay, and they will have to some punishment. So what will be the punishments? Now I am going to read out the punishment. Okay, capital punishment or death sentence or lifetime rigorous imprisonment for not exceeding 20 years. That means they will they will get the imprisonment, and it will be not exceeding 20 years but not less than 10 years, okay, with fine as a additional punishment. I think you all are able to understand this punishment. Okay, now I am going to talk about the last act to prevent violence towards women. Okay, so the name of this act is the Preventions of Acid Crime Act 2002. Okay, basically there are two sub laws. First, for A, crime is killing any person through acid throwing. Okay, if anyone does this type of crime, so what will be the punishment? Punishment will be capital punishment or death sentence or lifetime rigorous imprisonment, and with additional capital fine of maximum 1 lakh taka. Okay, and sub law B. Okay, the crime is throwing acid injuries another person by which he loses number one, either partly or wholly, eyesight, hearing, or face become mutilated. The criminal will be punished with capital punishment of death sentence or lifetime rigorous imprisonment or additional fine of maximum taka 1 lakh. Number two, any of his body parts, organs, glands becomes non-functional, or any parts of his body gets injured, then the offender will get punished with rigorous imprisonment of maximum 14 years but not less than 7 years, and fine of taka 50,000 maximum. Okay, so these are the laws and which are imposed by the government to prevent violence towards women. Okay, now I'm going to go the next part of our today's class, that is evaluation part. Here I'm going to ask some question to you. First of all, what is called the domestic violence? I think you all are able to give the definitions of domestic violence. Domestic violence means when a girl or woman is tortured physically or mentally by any person of his family members at her home is called a domestic violence. Okay. Number two, what is ip-teasing? Ip-teasing means disturbing a girl or woman by a man in public covered place. Okay, so this is the perfect definitions of ip-teasing. Number three, what polygamy? Polygamy is a system where a person, a male, can take some wives. Okay. Number four, what is violence towards women? Okay. Violence towards women means when a girl or woman is tortured physically and mentally by a male or woman for being only the girl. A girl of any age is called the violence towards women. Okay, what is the punishment of acid throwing to death? Okay, and he will be get lifetime imprisonment or death penalty. Number six, what is the punishment of human trafficking? Lifetime imprisonment, rigorous imprisonment, but not exceeding 20 years jail. So that's all about our today's class. If you have any questions, any query regarding our today's class, you can put your question in comment box after the class. Your the answer of your. Thank you very much for giving attention on my class, and inshallah until then, Allah Hafiz. Bye bye.